Welcome back to week number 5 of our Get Outside series. Today we are talking backyard games.
Got it!
Hopefully that we're going to be able to execute more strikeouts than we do walks. This last play, bases loaded, 1 out. Come back into the pitcher, and he fielded it before he got to first base. 2 outs. Throw a good hard low pitch to it that it'll come back to me in the air. So for example, if you hit a good hard line drive, I wanted to conclude our series with some backyard game variations, things that our players can get out there and do by themselves or with one other person, like a sibling or a parent. My major goal for this episode is that I want to be able to provide some adjustments, some gameplay modifications that can be done based on skill level, age, spatial constraints, equipment, things like that. One of the biggest things I see is that players don't have anybody else to play with. They don't have, obviously 9-on-9 to play with. How can we modify so that these games, these backyard games, can still be played? Which I feel is one thing that a lot of kids now don't do as much, is play wiffle ball and things like that in the backyard. All right, our first game. We're all by ourselves. We don't have anybody else to play with. We don't have any other options. But here's how we can do a simulation game. I am now going to simulate the pitching side of the game. I have a screen that has a red strike zone for me, so I keep balls and strikes just like I am pitching in a regulation game. Go through your motion and keep track of balls and strikes. If you walk the guy, he's goes to the base. Keep track of your base runners. All right, ghost runners advance on the walks. Hopefully that we're going to be able to execute more strikeouts than we do walks. Something we can do as we progress, if we're throwing more strikes than balls, is that we can put a target in the middle of the strike zone, where that target maybe now constitutes as a double, where if we're leaving the ball over the middle of the plate, hitters are going to make us pay for that. We can also make it maybe where the side of our line right here, my red tape, since if I hit the red tape, then that's going to maybe be 2 strikes because I've hit the corners, for example, keeping the ball away from the middle of the strike zone. There's different variations. If you don't have something hanging down from your screen like this, something already there, using ribbon and weaving it a strike zone like that is a great alternative. Another variation that we can do for our pitching, our defensive side of our simulation game, is using our bounce back. Now for me, the bounce back works well in the sense that if I throw a good hard low pitch to it, that it'll come back to me in the air. If I throw the ball high, then it's going to give me more of a grounder, and I can work on my defensive skills as a side benefit. So for example, for this game, we could play it as if I throw it and I catch it in the air, then it's a strike, it's a good pitch. If I miss the screen, or if I hit the top part of the screen with the throw and I'm fielding a grounder, it's a ball. Now let's say I throw it and hit the top part of the screen, but then I bobble it, or I can't get to the ball and field it cleanly, and then maybe it's an error, right? So we go through the inning and we do our outs, keep track of balls and strikes, ghost runners. This is another great way that we can use our bounce back for our pitching side of the sim game. Another variation that we can use if we don't have a bounce back or a screen to throw into like I've shown, is if we get a brick wall, for example, and a tennis ball, we can put up a tape strike zone in it, and we can keep track of balls and strikes similar to the way that we've done our bounce back right here. Again, different variations that we can do for our pitching side. Keep track of outs. Boom, after you get your 3rd out, now you're going to hit against yourself. All right, we've got our 3 outs defensively on the pitching mound, and now we are going to do some individual sim game offensive drills. So previously we've chatted about hitting off the tee, so that's a way that we can do this. You can rate your hit based on how well it was, whether it's a strike or a ball, or you can even give yourself outs for it. But to make your inning last a little longer, I'd say maybe just hit give you strikes or balls. So for example, if you hit a good hard line drive, that can give you like a ball, for example, right? So you can work your way towards getting on base. If you get on top of the ball and you hit more of like a grounder, that can be a strike. And opposite, if you get underneath it, you can count that as a strike as well. Keep track of your base runners and go through the inning until you've gotten 3 outs. And then you're going to switch back to the pitching mound. Another way you can adjust with this is also taking away the tee, and you can do self-toss. Self-toss can be with tennis balls, for example. It could also be with our wiffle balls still. And with that self-toss, probably going to provide a little bit more variability in where the ball is hit, so you can kind of see the field and kind of understand what balls are going to be caught as you do that, right? Again, you have to have some variation, kind of improvise a little bit, use your brain to kind of think about what kind of works in the space that you have. But self-toss and RT, great ways to do our offensive side. We picked up our backyard game with my boys playing their tennis ball game that we've improvised on. Some have the ability to play against a brother, a sibling, sister, a parent. You can see Parker and Reed's game is a one-on-one game, and we have different rules that they play with. In these rules, like you saw the ball hit the chair just a second ago, that was a strike. That chair is a strike zone. We've had to tilt it down so that it's not so high in the strike zone. And we're also playing pitcher's hand. So we've picked up this game in the top of the first. I believe there's 1 out with runner on first base now because Reed was just safe. All right, we got a 2-2 count. Runner on first. Fly ball. Pitcher's hand is going to be if Parker gets the ball before he is at first base, he is out. And on that play right there, Reed got halfway to second base before Parker got the ball, so he's on second. So now with ghost runners, they're going to hustle back to position with ghost runners now at second and third, and 1 out. The runner on first base advanced 2 bases on the double. Next batter, ball 1. Ball 2. Second and third, 1 out. Steve Rick. All right, 2-1, 1 out. Runner second and third. Yes, he did. Another reason I like this game here is because it really keeps them thinking. I've seen them have many discussions on base runners and outs and counts. Ooh, plunked him. Bases loaded. Bases loaded. Hey! All right, let's see this last play. Bases loaded. 1 out. Come back into the pitcher, and he fielded it before he got to first base. 2 outs. All right, good job, guys. So again, modifications that we've made in this game. We have the strike zone as the chair. No arguing about balls and strikes. We have pitcher's hand. Ball to the pitcher. Makes the pitcher have to go fetch that ball nice and quick. Oh, this is going to be a good play. Let's say it. What's the call? Again, thanks for watching episode 5, Backyard Games. Hope you've enjoyed our Get Outside series. Thanks again to the town of Carrboro, Recreation Parks and Cultural Resources Department for providing the support for this series. Hope you've enjoyed it, from our tee games to from our throwing, self-toss, fungo golf, our throwing program, all those episodes prior, and now combining it into our backyard games. Get outside, work on your game, and have some fun. Until next time, thanks.